What does it feel like to have sex with your husband after being fucked by a wild man? Three mature women share their personal experiences. Hi everyone, I'm Eileen. Today I'm going to tell you a big secret, but this topic is a bit private and may make people blush, but it is definitely something that many people have secretly been curious about. Have you ever thought about what a woman is thinking and feeling when she has sex with her husband after having that kind of indescribable intimate behavior with another man? I took great pains to find three mature women who are clear-headed and let them talk to us without reservation about the twist. Now, move your small stool, prick up your ears, and listen to me carefully. Let me tell you the story of Sister Lynn first. Sister Lynn and her husband have been married for 10 years. The marriage life in these 10 years is like riding a roller coaster. From the beginning, it was full of passion, and slowly became like riding a slow sightseeing car, plain and stable. Sister Lynn works as an administrator in a company. She is very busy and stressed every day. Once when the company was doing team building, she met Xiao Zhang from another department. Xiao Zhang is simply a humor maker. Compared with Sister Lynn's honest and taciturn husband, the contrast is too great. During the team building days, Xiao Zhang was like a little tail circling around Sister Lynn every day, making her laugh. Sister Lynn felt as if she had returned to her teenage years, and her heart was beating fast. After this, the relationship between the two of them was a little deteriorated. After working overtime, the atmosphere was so hot that the two of them lost control and something happened that shouldn't have happened. Sister Lynn said that at that time, it was like two little people fighting in her head. One said that it was unfair to her husband, the other was dizzy with the novelty. But when the matter was over, she was like being poured with a basin of cold water, and she was suddenly awakened. A big stone was pressed on her heart heavy. When she got home and faced her husband, Sister Lynn's guilt was about to overflow. In the evening, her husband wanted to be intimate as usual, and Sister Lynn felt that her heart was about to jump to her throat, and she was very nervous. On the one hand, she was afraid that her husband would discover her secret. On the other hand, she felt awkward all over. When she had sex with her husband, her mind was full of pictures of her and Xiao Zhang, and she couldn't concentrate at all. She felt like a traitor, and every move made her guilt rise. From the perspective of sexual knowledge, when people have a heavy psychological burden, the experience of sexual life will plummet. Sister Lynn was full of guilt at the time. This psychological burden made her completely unable to enjoy the intimate time with her husband. She felt that there was a thick layer of glass between her and her husband, which was visible but intangible, and the familiar intimacy disappeared without a trace. After the end, Sister Lynn turned her back and secretly wiped her ears. She felt that she was too sorry for her husband and didn't know how to face this marriage. Let's talk about Ms. Sue and her husband were college classmates. They have always had a good relationship and have a lovely baby. Ms. Sue opened a small clothing store and her business is booming. Once she went out of town to attend a clothing trade fair where she met Mr. Lee, who was in the clothing business. Mr. Lee was mature and steady, had a first-class business mind, and took good care of Ms. Sue during the trade fair. The two exchanged business tips every day, and their relationship became more and more ambiguous. The night after the trade fair, under the influence of alcohol, the two crossed the line. Miss Sue said that she was really obsessed at the time, and she regretted it afterwards. When she returned home, she was in a state of anxiety. At night, her husband wanted to be intimate, and Ms. Sue felt like a child who had made a mistake, and she felt guilty. When she had sex with her husband, she found that her physical reaction to her husband had become dull. In the past, when she was intimate with her husband, the love and passion were natural, but this time she was like a robot dealing with it mechanically. Moreover, the scenes of being with Mr. Lee flashed through her mind from time to time, which made her even more uncomfortable. From the perspective of the physiology of both sexes, women's physical sensitivity and psychological expectations will change after close contact with different people. Miss Sue had just experienced the incident with Mr. Lee, and her body and mind were in a mess. So when she had sex with her husband again, she couldn't find the sweet and beautiful feeling she had before. Miss Sue said that she was very entangled at the time. She didn't want to lose her husband and warm family, but she didn't know how to face the mistakes she made. She felt that she had fallen into a bottomless quagmire and couldn't get out no matter how hard she struggled. Finally, it was Sister Wang. Sister Wang and her husband have been married for many years. Her husband is busy with business and spends little time at home. Sister Wang does housework and takes care of the children at home. Once in a group of parents of children, she met Mr. Xiao, who is also a parent who is busy with work and spends little time with his family. The two often communicated about their children's affairs, sympathized with each other, and gradually developed a different feeling. Later, by chance, the two couldn't control themselves and had a relationship. Sister Wang said that she regretted it afterwards and felt that she had betrayed her husband. When she got home, her husband had made a big deal and was in a good mood. He wanted to celebrate with Sister Wang in the evening. Sister Wang was so conflicted. She didn't want to spoil her husband's fun, but she felt sorry for him. When she had sex with her husband, she felt like she was torn into two people. One was a wife who loved her husband deeply, and the other was a sinner who betrayed her marriage. She struggled painfully in her heart, enjoying her husband's love while being tortured by her own behavior. From the perspective of sexual psychology, Sister Wang's inner conflict is actually very common. When a person does something that violates morality and marital commitments, he will have a struggle in his heart. This conflict will seriously affect the feeling of being intimate with his partner. Sister Wang said that during that sex, she had been suppressing her emotions, catering to her husband on the surface, but crying silently in her heart. She didn't know how to face her husband, nor how to make up for the mistakes she had made. My dears, from the experiences of these three mature women, we can see that after a woman has intimate behavior with other men, it feels complicated and painful to have sex with her husband. This is not just a change in physical feelings, but more of a huge psychological burden. This also reminds us that loyalty is really important in marriage. Every relationship must be managed carefully, unguarded with loyalty. Once you make a mistake impulsively, you will not only hurt the other person, but you will also fall into the abyss of pain. So you must cherish the person in front of you, cherish your marriage, and don't let a momentary impulse ruin your original happy life. I hope that the stories of these three sisters today can give you some inspiration so that we all know how to manage our own feelings in marriages. Well, that's all for today's video. Everyone is welcome to leave a message for discussion. We'll talk again next time.